Right. So I have a fungus on my face. Not like a metaphorical one, but a literal biological living organism type of fungus, right here. And here's the thing, I genuinely don't know how to feel about it. Because on one hand, it's ruining my looks, but on the other hand, it's alive. And apparently, I do really have mixed feelings about that. So, a while back, I noticed this patch on my skin, and after a lot of late night Google searching, turns out it's a fungal infection. It's a pretty common and totally treatable, not anything serious or nothing dramatic. I went to the doctor, and she basically said that she enforced me to use a certain cream, and she said that it will be gone in about a month, right? It's pretty simple, except that except the fact that I just sat there holding the tube and thought, wait a minute, if I put this thing on, then I'm killing something. Something that chose me, something that chose my face as its home, right? Something that has its own microscopic fungi life right there on my cheek. But it is objectively insane to feel conflicted about it. I know. But the thing is, here's where my brain went weird on me. I'm a Buddhist, right? Or at least I'm trying to practice Buddhism in my life. And one of the things that keeps coming back to me in the practice is the idea of peace by not harming living organisms. The sole principle that every living being, no matter how small, how variety a lot of variety of forms it has, you need to respect them, right? You need to respect the life that they have. Even fun fact, guys, you see monks in some traditions, they love to wear masks, right? The real reason is not because they, are afraid to cough or are afraid of the dirty road. They do it so they don't accidentally inhale insects or small organisms in their way. A lot of the monks even sweep the ground before they walked because, they walk themselves barefoot. But the main point is so they don't step on ants or any other bugs or insects. That part right there is a genuine committed reference for life. A huge respect that they put on others' life. And even most of the people in this world don't even notice that. I find it really beautiful, like genuinely. The idea that compassion doesn't have a size requirement, that you can extend your careness, your carefulness to things that can't even look you in the eye, things that don't even realize that you're there. Or in this case, things that are literally living on your face. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? But also, and I want to be and I wanted to be real with you. The fungus is still messing with my face. You know, my skin looks uneven, it's itchy. It's just not it. And I quickly came to the realization that having this genuinely ridiculous internal debate, I might say, is pretty entertaining at some sort. Like, do I prioritize the well-being of an organism that doesn't even know I exist? Or do I prioritize my own skin? It sounds funny when I say it out loud, but it is what it is. But then I think that the reason I couldn't just laugh it off, and slap the cream on my face immediately is because it is pointed at something that I actually really care about, my values. Am I someone who lives by their own values when it's convenient? Or do I let those values actually test me, right? Even in the smallest, stupidest, nobody watching moments. But well, I ended up using cream. And by the way, I'm not going to pretend that I achieved some enlightenment in the middle of the path where I negotiated with a peaceful coexistence with the fungi. No, but here's what I took from it. I think that compassion for living things doesn't mean that you can let them harm you, you know? Even in the Buddhist philosophy, you can care about something and still set a boundary with it. For example, a farmer who kills the pest inside of their garden isn't really a bad person, right? A doctor who prescribes the antibiotics to kill the virus or anything inside of your body. It isn't cruel, you know. Taking care of yourself is also what I think is a sign of respect for your own life. And real practice isn't about never causing harm because, just by existing here in this world, you're automatically going to do that. But the practice is about doing it consciously, not carelessly. And of course, with the awareness that there is always more life around you than you think. That's it for today, and see you next time.